Hygiene, a plain-looking woman working as a beer shop waitress, was often mocked for her appearance. One day, a customer insulted her, comparing her to a beautiful coworker. Despite feeling hurt, Hygiene smiled and carried on. After work, she attended her best friend Hari's birthday party. While Hari, stunningly beautiful, slipped and fell into the pool, a group of men rushed to rescue her. Amid the chaos, Hygiene was accidentally knocked into the water but had to climb out unnoticed. Used to being ignored, she quietly left, suppressing her sadness. On her way home, she reflected on her life. Once admired as a beautiful girl in school, she had been the first love of many boys, including seo-joon, a chubby, shy transfer student she had protected from bullies. Their bond deepened after she comforted him during a rainy day, calming his fear of storms caused by his mother's death. Before he moved abroad, seo-joon kissed her and promised they'd meet again someday. Years later, Hygiene's life was full of struggles. Late for a job interview, she was humiliated in an elevator but made it to the meeting thanks to someone's help. Though her honesty during the interview amused others, she didn't expect much. That night, she unexpectedly received an email from seo-joon, her childhood friend, and eagerly arranged to meet him. However, at the meeting place, she mistakenly greeted a chubby man, only to realize her error when the real seo-joon appeared. Now a handsome, confident man. Shock froze her as seo-joon didn't recognize her and instead greeted a beautiful woman behind her. Heartbroken, Hygiene hid, unable to reveal herself, and later ran into Hari, who noticed her sadness. Hari, Hygiene's beautiful best friend, understood her insecurities. Hygiene felt unworthy of seo-joon, fearing he'd be disappointed by her current appearance. Ignoring Hari's encouragement, Hygiene asked her to impersonate her for the meeting. Confidently, Hari greeted seo-joon, who warmly hugged her, mistaking her for Hygiene. From a distance, Hygiene watched the two with sadness. At dinner, seo-joon asked about Hygiene's life. Hari, coached by Hygiene, answered confidently but faltered on unplanned questions. Hygiene, hidden nearby, gestured frantically to help. seo-joon remained unaware, thanking Hygiene for being his light during dark times. Touched, Hygiene silently listened. At the end of the meal, Hari pretended she had to leave for study abroad. Disappointed, seo-joon gave her a gift, an umbrella, symbolizing their childhood promise. Hygiene, realizing seo-joon wanted to protect her now, felt undeserving and deleted his email, erasing him from her life. The next day, Hygiene learned she passed her job interview, but her excitement turned to shock when she discovered her new boss was seo-joon. Panicked, she tried to avoid him but accidentally got stuck in an elevator with him. As the lights flickered, she trembled in fear. seo-joon, misunderstanding her reaction, gave her headphones to calm her, unknowingly mirroring what she had once done for him. Hygiene longed to reveal herself but stayed silent. At work, Hygiene struggled to maintain professionalism. She accidentally dirted the shooting floor, prompting seo-joon to harshly reprimand her. His cold remarks stung, but she hid her frustration, determined to endure. Hygiene could only bow her head in silence as the editor-in-chief criticized her curly hair and outdated outfit. Despite explaining that her curls were natural, the editor-in-chief dismissed her, leaving Hygiene feeling inferior. As she worked at a fashion magazine but lacked the beauty to fit in, she was often assigned menial tasks. That night, she vented to Hari about her miserable day, but when she looked up for air, seo-joon's car drove by. Later, seo-joon, missing Hygiene, sent her a letter, which scared her. She asked Hari for help, and Hari sent a photo of herself in Europe, pretending it was from Hygiene. seo-joon smiled at the photo, but when he returned to the office as the deputy editor, he was harsh and demanding. He criticized everyone's ideas, including Hygiene's, even though she was doing her best. His scolding made her wonder if he ignored her because of her appearance. Despite his tough exterior, seo-joon later treated the employees to a night out, explaining that he was trying to save the magazine from being shut down. Hygiene, still doing menial tasks, accidentally bumped into him and fell into his arms. He let go of her quickly, criticizing her again, which made her furious. Hygiene decided she couldn't take it anymore. She had earned her job through her abilities, not by being someone's first love. She vowed to stay and make him regret ever looking down on her. The next day, Hygiene confidently went to work, but openly criticized her boss, seo-joon, in front of her colleagues. She called him unattractive, odd, and perpetually frowning, unaware that seo-joon was standing behind her. When she turned and saw him, she screamed, but seo-joon ignored her, pulled documents from under her seat, and walked away. Later, while meeting a business partner at a high-end hotel, seo-joon spotted Hari working there. Confronting her about why she didn't study abroad, Hari quickly hugged him to discreetly toss her name tag away, but her colleague picked it up, forcing her to admit she had stayed in Korea due to a job offer. seo-joon was thrilled to see her regularly, which terrified Hari. She called Hygiene for help, but her colleague Shin-hyuk picked up instead. At home, Hari confessed to Hae-jin about her exposed lie, but Hae-jin, fed up with Sung-joon, vowed to cut ties with him and forbade Hari from mentioning him. Feeling guilty, Hari decided to handle the situation herself. The next morning, Sung-joon, preoccupied with work, mistook vase water for coffee. On his way to work, he overheard a familiar childhood phrase, "Green light, let's go," from Hae-jin passing nearby, but they didn't recognize each other. At the office, Hae-jin, flustered during a presentation, accidentally shone an LED light directly into Sung-joon's face, making everyone laugh. Later, she submitted an error-filled report, prompting Sung-joon to scold her harshly, accusing her of using connections to get her job. Hurt, Hae-jin explained she was transferred to the fashion team unexpectedly and was working hard to adapt, but Sung-joon dismissed her efforts and threatened to fire her. Feeling defeated, Hae-jin sought comfort in the storeroom but continued facing challenges, from mislabeling cosmetics to enduring Shin-hyuk's playful teasing. Determined to improve, she took Hari's advice to study fashion seriously. She read magazines, observed clothing brands, and practiced styling, which gradually boosted her confidence. Her improved work performance earned praise from her colleagues, though her clumsiness persisted, much to Shin-hyuk's amusement. One evening, Hari's strained relationship with her stepmother escalated when she defended her late mother, only to be slapped by her father. Upset, she called Hae-jin but received no response. Later, Hari met Sung-joon at a bar to end their relationship but got drunk and caused a scene with an aggressive man. Sung-joon intervened, getting injured in the process. Despite this, he cared for her, taking her to the hospital and reminiscing about their childhood. Hari started to develop feelings for him but hesitated to break things off. The next day, Sung-joon coincidentally encountered Hae-jin's younger sister, who resembled the Hae-jin he remembered from childhood. Mistaking her for his first love, he was intrigued, but Hae-jin quickly intervened, claiming her sister's notebook and calling him back to the office under false pretenses. At work, Sung-joon continued his strict demeanor, but Shin-hyuk noticed Hae-jin's kindness and began to admire her inner beauty. Meanwhile, Hae-jin, inspired by Sung-joon's critique of her appearance and attitude, decided to make subtle improvements. She volunteered to drive Sung-joon to the airport to meet an important partner, but her inexperience and miscommunication led them down the wrong route, putting the meeting at risk. Hae-jin quickly left the car, running to the street vendor and asking him to drive Sung-joon to the airport. The vendor skillfully navigated the traffic jam, getting Sung-joon out, while Hae-jin handled things at the airport. Sung-joon scolded her for being negligent, and Hae-jin, frustrated, blocked his car door and yelled at him for thinking others were beneath him. She then left, carrying rice cakes home alone. Later, Hae-jin went drinking with Hari to drown their sorrows. Hari was upset after her father apologized for slapping her but wanted her to bond with her stepmother. At the fashion company, Hae-jin accidentally took the umbrella Sung-joon gave Hari, which surprised him. Hae-jin went to meet Hari, but Hari, still upset, tried to escape at the swimming pool. Sung-joon noticed and took her to the park to cheer her up, even sharing his pain about missing his mother. Hari started to worry about Hae-jin. Meanwhile, Hae-jin got drunk with Shin-hyuk and almost revealed her secret about Sung-joon but passed out before she could. Shin-hyuk took her home. The next morning, Hae-jin learned she had vomited on him. She felt embarrassed, realizing Hari had followed Sung-joon's advice to wear long pants, unlike her own father's suggestion. At work, Hae-jin worried about calling Sung-joon and asked Shin-hyuk if she had said anything embarrassing. He revealed she cursed the deputy editor, and Hae-jin sighed in relief that Sung-joon hadn't reacted. Sung-joon, reflecting on his own mistakes, attended a work party where he drank too much and fainted. Hae-jin and Shin-hyuk took him back to his hotel, where Hae-jin discovered his fridge was full of water, revealing his strict weight loss routine. Hae-jin realized she had left her phone in Sung-joon's room, full of photos of her and Hari. She opened the door with the password from their old diary and quietly retrieved it while Sung-joon was asleep. Later, at the hotel where Hari worked, she met Shin-hyuk, who turned out to be the VIP guest. Hae-jin found herself distracted by an unfinished puzzle she and Sung-joon had made as kids. When she tried to touch it, Sung-joon startled her. The puzzle broke, and he rushed to protect her. He didn't believe she was there with Shin-hyuk, and she left. Hae-jin realized she was wearing Sung-joon's slipper, returned it, and he threatened her before closing the door. The next day, Hari joined Hae-jin's family for dinner. Afterward, Hae-jin found a missing puzzle piece, given to her by Sung-joon when they were kids. He had promised to protect her, but now neither acknowledged their feelings. Hae-jin then received a work call and went to Sung-joon's office. She accidentally broke a mannequin and hid in the closet, overhearing about the magazine's potential discontinuation. Sung-joon later found out she knew and made her promise not to tell anyone. She dropped the puzzle piece outside his door, where Shin-hyuk secretly took it. Later, Hari met Shin-hyuk, who couldn't pay for his noodles. She paid for him and they shared a moment. Hae-jin called them both to meet, but Shin-hyuk had already returned to the hotel. Hari, realizing her feelings for Sung-joon, began to feel conflicted. When she thought she saw Sung-joon on the street, Hari, pretending to be Hae-jin, impulsively chased after him but stopped, realizing she was an imposter and had no right to love him. Saddened, Hari confided in Shin-hyuk, asking how to forget someone she couldn't have. She even suggested he pretend to be her fiancé to help her end things. That night, they waited for Sung-joon, but he didn't show up due to a car accident. It was raining, triggering his trauma of losing his mother. Overwhelmed and panicked, Sung-joon collapsed in the middle of the road. Hae-jin, passing by on a bus, saw him and rushed out with a raincoat. Despite Sung-joon's protests, she stayed to comfort him, her kindness reminding him of his first love. She called a taxi and sent him home. Hari later found Sung-joon unconscious in the taxi, rushed to his place, and cooked him porridge, though she was clumsy. Meanwhile, Hae-jin asked Shin-hyuk to deliver porridge to Sung-joon in exchange for agreeing to his 3 requests. Shin-hyuk brought the porridge but swapped Hae-jin's with one full of vinegar. Seeing Sung-joon's high fever, Shin-hyuk stayed to care for him overnight. The next morning, Sung-joon woke to see Shin-hyuk in his apartment, leading to awkward explanations and Sung-joon lending him clothes. Later, Sung-joon mistakenly thanked Hari for the porridge. At work, Hae-jin caught a cold from the rain. Sung-joon, feeling guilty, bought her medicine but hesitated to give it. Meanwhile, Shin-hyuk cared for Hae-jin, applying a fever patch and giving her a mask. Frustrated, Sung-joon lashed out at Hae-jin for a report, but secretly followed her home, watching over her as she dozed off on the bus. He even let her rest on his shoulder, covering his face with a newspaper to stay unrecognized. Sung-joon's feelings grew for Hae-jin, but Hari, still pretending to be her, decided to fight for his love. She found a missing puzzle piece on Hae-jin's desk, realizing its connection to Sung-joon's childhood memories. Using it, she tried to solidify her bond with him, even lowering her pride to plead with her stepmother to keep her identity a secret. Despite her efforts, Sung-joon started noticing Hae-jin more, drawn to her warmth and sincerity. On a business trip, Hae-jin and Sung-joon ended up working together unexpectedly. At a restaurant, Sung-joon arrogantly ordered expensive meals, but realized he'd forgotten his wallet. Hae-jin, unable to cover the cost, joined him in working off the debt. They cleaned up cow manure, accidentally falling into it and sharing laughs. Later, Sung-joon found Hae-jin's lost employee card, showing a rare moment of care. Touched, Hae-jin opened up about the significance of the card, which marked her first job achievement, and Sung-joon shared the importance of his childhood collage. As their time together deepened, Sung-joon's feelings for Hae-jin grew stronger, while Hari struggled with guilt over her deception. Sung-joon began to see Hae-jin as more than just a coworker, unknowingly drifting away from Hari, whose plans to win his love became increasingly desperate. Hari called both Sung-joon and Hae-jin, discovering their situation, which left her feeling jealous and worried. Meanwhile, Hae-jin and Sung-joon were discussing their travel experiences and how they had learned to cope with solitude. Hae-jin empathized with the loneliness he felt during his travels, which led Sung-joon to open up about his time in America. Despite being bullied, he had stayed strong, thanks to letters from a friend in Korea. However, when the letters stopped, he felt heartbroken. Hae-jin, realizing the weight of his story, chose to remain silent and instead ran off to play by the beach. Sung-joon, charmed by Hae-jin's carefree demeanor, secretly tried to take pictures of her, but shyly looked away when caught. Later, as they ate together, Sung-joon began to feel a growing connection with Hae-jin. They talked deeply, like two long-lost soulmates reuniting. Their conversation stretched late into the night, until the staff reminded them the store was closing. For the first time in a decade, Sung-joon felt comfortable sharing his deepest pain, a story he hadn't even told Hari, the friend he believed was his first love. This openness made Hae-jin want to reveal her true identity to him. She wanted to let him know he wasn't alone. But just as she was about to confess, Shin-hyuk appeared, acting as a light bulb, to interrupt their moment. Shin-hyuk's antics frustrated Sung-joon, especially when he invited Hae-jin to go drinking. Determined not to leave them alone, Sung-joon joined them. At the drinking table, Shin-hyuk teased Sung-joon about borrowing his underwear and pranked Hae-jin with a fake spider. Sung-joon, unable to hold back, hit Shin-hyuk on the head in frustration. After drinking too much, Sung-joon fainted, leaving Hae-jin and Shin-hyuk to help him back to his room. Later that night, Shin-hyuk discovered Sung-joon had secretly taken pictures of Hae-jin, which upset him. Unable to contain his feelings, he went jogging to clear his mind. The next day, Sung-joon returned to work with a more sociable attitude, surprising his colleagues. In contrast, Shin-hyuk grew increasingly uneasy. That evening, Hae-jin confided in Shin-hyuk about her plan to reveal her identity to Sung-joon. Shin-hyuk, saddened and nervous, expressed his feelings for her, likening her to a loyal, clumsy, yet kind, puppy. Despite his heartfelt confession, Hae-jin assumed he was joking and tried to brush it off. Meanwhile, Hari confronted Sung-joon, asking if he would still be by her side if she weren't his childhood friend. Without waiting for his answer, she kissed him, expressing her feelings. Shin-hyuk accidentally witnessed this, realizing Hari was in love with Sun-joon but couldn't bring herself to confess. Moved by her courage, he decided to fight for his own feelings, hugging Hae-jin tightly. Sun-joon, conflicted, took Hari to their childhood spot where they had drawn pictures together. Although Hari didn't want to revisit the past, Sun-joon assured her they could focus on the present. Hari, determined to enjoy their time together, decided to confess her true identity in 2 months, prioritizing her friendship with Hae-jin over her love for Sun-joon. Unaware of Hari's plan, Hae-jin struggled with her own decision to reveal the truth. Shin-hyuk encouraged her to choose between finding her old friend and pursuing her first love. However, before she could decide, Sun-joon accidentally witnessed Shin-hyuk carrying Hae-jin home after her shoe broke, making him increasingly unsure of his feelings. Later, Sun-joon, pressured by work, lashed out at Hae-jin over a misunderstanding involving a torn dress. Though it wasn't her fault, he fired her in a fit of anger. Heartbroken, Hae-jin left without confessing her identity. When the truth about the dress came to light, Sun-joon was filled with regret, but his frustration over love and work left him drained. Shin-hyuk, sensing Hae-jin's despair, invited her to help him with a photography project. Although reluctant, she agreed, and they spent the day enjoying each other's company. Shin-hyuk later showed Sun-joon some of Hae-jin's creative ideas, emphasizing her unique talent. This prompted Sun-joon to reflect on his feelings. When Shin-hyuk boldly admitted his love for Hae-jin, he urged Sun-joon to do the right thing and apologize to her. That night, Sun-joon resolved to invite Hae-jin back to work and finally confront his growing emotions for her. Sun-joon brings Hae-jin's idea and waits for her at the bus stop but secretly follows her home. He hides when startled by a sound but ends up falling and landing right in front of Hae-jin. He praises her idea and asks her to return to the company, but she refuses, feeling uncomfortable working with him. The real reason is that a former department head offered her another job, but she soon finds out her position has been cancelled. Struggling with family and financial problems, she begins to feel hopeless. Despite this, she decides to take Sun-joon's photo of an onion and laughs, signaling a shift in her mindset. Hae-jin returns to work, having transformed both in appearance and confidence. She gets a warm welcome from her colleagues, though Shinnik believes the old Hae-jin was more beautiful. Hae-jin reveals her true motivation: to save money and improve her life, especially her father's printing business. She boldly presents an idea to feature ordinary workers in the magazine, a concept Sun-joon fully supports. After multiple meetings, Sun-joon commends her and hopes she'll stay with the company. Meanwhile, Hari, still struggling with her feelings for Sun-joon, suffers from severe stomach pain and faints. Shinnik comforts her, but she can't help but cry over her unrequited love for Sun-joon. While Hae-jin works on her ideas, Hari tries to distract herself, getting closer to Shinnik. Shin-hyuk, always keen to show his feelings for Hae-jin, noticed her employee card bag, a welcome gift from Sun-joon. Determined not to be outdone, Shin-hyuk brought her a large gift box and jokingly presented it as his welcome gift, making Hae-jin blush. When she hesitated to accept, he humorously handed the gift to a passing dog, forcing her to take it back. At the most major event, celebrities gathered, but Sun-joon was delayed due to heavy rain. Hae-jin worried deeply about him. The editor-in-chief stepped in, delivering an impromptu and spirited speech in English to buy time for his arrival, earning applause. Sun-joon eventually overcame his fear of rain and arrived, grateful for the editor-in-chief's efforts. Hae-jin, aware of his struggle, sat quietly by his side, uncertain how to comfort him. When colleagues criticized Sun-joon, Hae-jin stood up for him, scolding them. Sun-joon overheard but diffused the situation by thanking her privately. Reporter Cha offered Hae-jin the chance to write an article, but she doubted her abilities and declined. Sun-joon later encouraged her with a metaphor about seizing opportunities. Inspired, Hae-jin asked reporter Cha for another chance and resolved to test her skills. Hari and Shin-hyuk grew closer during a refreshing walk that prompted her to confront her deception. She decided to confess everything to Sun-joon. Meanwhile, Hae-jin faced challenges collecting data for her article, leading to a car mix-up. Sun-joon, worried by news of an accident, rushed to the scene in the pouring rain. He found Hae-jin safe and hugged her tightly, overwhelmed with relief. Shin-hyuk arrived too late and watched in pain. Hae-jin realized the depth of Sun-joon's feelings for her when he revealed he braved the rain despite his fear. However, she later witnessed Hari's deception and was devastated. Aimlessly wandering, she confided in Shin-hyuk, who consoled her like a caring brother. Hae-jin struggled to face Sun-joon, avoiding him at work. However, Sun-joon grew more open about his feelings, admitting he felt drawn to her but couldn't pinpoint why. Overwhelmed, Hae-jin held back from revealing her identity. Hari finally confessed the truth to Sun-joon. Hari's confession to Sun-joon about her feelings reveals her inner turmoil. She admits that while she initially approached him due to her best friend Hae-jin's request, her feelings grew uncontrollably. However, when Sun-joon asks about the real Hae-jin, Hari finally acknowledges her as her best friend. Despite her vulnerability, Sun-joon doesn't give her an answer about forgiveness. instead focusing on finding Hae-jin. His overwhelming desire to see her and guilt for not recognizing her sooner take over. Meanwhile, Shinnik expresses his feelings to Hae-jin, who is caught in a difficult emotional dilemma. Sun-joon calls her, trembling, revealing he knows everything about her true identity. Hae-jin faces the heartbreaking choice between staying with Shinnik and rushing to Sun-joon, ultimately deciding to apologize to Shinnik before running to find her childhood friend. The two meet at a red light, and their long-suppressed feelings pour out. They share an emotional reunion, Sun-joon expressing regret for not realizing her identity sooner. Hae-jin, however, is conflicted by her friendship with Hari. She avoids Sun-joon, trying to suppress her growing feelings out of loyalty to her best friend. Sun-joon, determined to clear the air, confronts her, but Hae-jin struggles to articulate her pain. Their exchange, filled with unspoken emotions, leaves both of them unsure of how to move forward. Shinnik, heartbroken by Hae-jin's choice, retreats, while Hae-jin's bond with her best friend Hari begins to crack. Hari, feeling the weight of her unrequited love for Sun-joon, turns to distractions, even dragging Hae-jin into a situation with a bad boyfriend. Both women, burdened by guilt and confusion, realize their connection to Sun-joon has irreparably changed their lives. Hae-jin, recognizing the pain Hari is in, makes a tough choice to move back home with her parents, but her longing for Sun-joon persists. In an attempt to reconcile, Sun-joon visits Hae-jin's family, where a humorous incident with her grandfather occurs, signaling a deeper connection between him and Hae-jin. Despite the awkwardness, Sun-joon confirms to Hae-jin that he only has feelings for her and is ready to wait for her to acknowledge him, no matter the consequences. Meanwhile, Hari's biological mother reappears, trying to make amends for abandoning her. Hari, struggling with her feelings, finally calls her mother, asking for one last meal with her. However, Hari's emotional turmoil continues as she is caught in a web of unfulfilled love and regret. Back at work, Sun-joon faces mounting pressure, and Shinnik contemplates leaving the company. Sun-joon's frustration peaks when he collapses from exhaustion, leading Hae-jin to rush to his side. In a poignant moment, she realizes the depth of her own feelings for him. Sun-joon, recovering in the hospital, asks her to stay with him, and they share a heartfelt admission of love. Their relationship marks a turning point, with Sun-joon smiling through the challenges of life, and Hae-jin finally embracing her emotions. As their love blossoms, the office dynamic shifts. Sun-joon's behavior becomes more positive and open, which his colleagues notice and speculate about. Hae-jin, though, tries to keep their relationship private, which frustrates Sun-joon but also deepens their bond. The couple's relationship progresses, with Sun-joon becoming more comfortable around Hae-jin, even meeting her family and becoming part of her life. Hari, in the meantime, resolves to let go and give her best friend and Sun-joon the happiness they deserve, forgiving herself and accepting the outcome. The story culminates in a moment of closure when Sun-joon and Hari meet to discuss the past, with Sun-joon forgiving her, and Hari finally letting go, offering her blessing to Hae-jin. Sun-joon accepted to be Hae-jin's friend, and soon everything felt right again. One evening, after they talked on the phone, Hae-jin accidentally mentioned the fish cakes were delicious. Minutes later, Sun-joon showed up with the food, and they ate together in the car. After talking and enjoying each other's company, they fell asleep unaware of the challenges ahead. The next day, pressure mounted as a magazine representative urged Sun-joon to increase his output. If the magazine folded, it would label him a failure. Sun-joon didn't want to burden his colleagues, so he kept the news to himself. But Junwoo heard about it and told everyone, leading to a confrontation. Reporter Cha, furious at Seo-joon's secrecy, questioned him. It was revealed that the staff had dedicated years to the magazine, and they were willing to fight to save it. Sun-joon, realizing his selfishness, joined forces with his colleagues. The team united, and soon a famous star agreed to promote the magazine, boosting its visibility. Sun-joon promised Hae-jin that if they revived the magazine, he would propose to her. Hae-jin believed in him and agreed to wait. However, the star backed out, entangled in a scandal. The team, devastated, brainstormed alternatives. Sun-joon learned about the mysterious writer Kang, whose books were popular. But no one knew Kang's true identity. Sun-joon contacted the publisher and waited for a response, while the team worked overtime to prepare for the worst. As the 20th anniversary event approached, the team's hard work paid off. Kang's identity was revealed to be Shin-hyuk, someone Sun-joon never expected. Shin-hyuk agreed to help, but Sun-joon chose not to publish the interview, respecting Shin-hyuk's desire for privacy. However, Shin-hyuk secretly allowed the article to be published, and the team's efforts saved the magazine. After the celebration, Sun-joon planned to propose to Hae-jin, but the time wasn't right. Hae-jin was offered a chance to work with a children's author, a childhood dream of hers. Despite her hesitation, she decided to pursue her passion. Sun-joon supported her decision, promising to propose when the time was perfect. A year later, Sun-joon returned, ready to propose. But as Hae-jin settled into her new role and grew confident in her writing, Seo-joon's work kept him busy. The couple's love remained strong, even from a distance. When seo-joon finally returned to her, they embraced, ending their long-distance love. The story ends with the couple's wedding, a reflection of their growth and love. Their friends, Hanso and Junwoo, Hari and Shinhyuk, continued their journeys, finding love and success in their own ways. The message is clear. Life is a journey, and every person we meet brings valuable lessons. Please like and subscribe.